joy and a pleasure to be here once again this evening and bring both the word of testimony and later on the word of the Lord. And indeed to have fellowship with you once again. Only a matter of months ago that I was standing here graduating, and tomorrow I'm doing it all again. But the hand of the Lord's been in the middle of it all. And in the months and years to come, God willing, I pray He'll continue to do so. You've been reading through the Psalms and you're jumping about a bit. I'm going to jump forward with you a little bit. Just a quick read from Psalm 116. Psalm 116, just a couple of verses, just starting with verse 1. The psalmist says, I love the Lord because He has heard my voice and my pleas for mercy. Because He inclined His ear to me, therefore I will call on Him as long as I live. The snares of death encompassed me, and the pains of hell laid hold on me. I suffered distress and anguish. Then I called on the name of the Lord. O Lord, I pray, deliver my soul. Gracious is the Lord and righteous. Our God is merciful. The Lord preserves the simple. When I was brought low, He saved me. Return, O my soul, to your rest. For the Lord has dealt bountifully with you. For you have delivered my soul from death, my eyes from tears, my feet from stumbling. I will walk before the Lord in the land of the living. I believed even when I spoke, I am greatly afflicted. I said in my alarm, all mankind are liars. But what shall I render to the Lord for all His benefits to me? Amen. May the Lord just bless that brief reading to our hearts for His name's sake. Well, as you can tell from my accent, I'm not a local lad. I grew up across the Irish Sea in a field somewhere compared to Edinburgh, out in the countryside in Northern Ireland. I grew up in a Christian home, and over the years I've certainly counted that a greater privilege as time moves on, having a mother and a father that knew the things of God and faithfully sent me along to any possible meeting that was going. Sunday school on Sunday morning, church on Sunday morning, a little other Sunday school in the afternoon, church on Sunday night, another wee children's meeting on a Tuesday night, our own on a Wednesday night, and youth fellowship then whenever I came of age on a Friday night. And it was in all these places, and indeed at home, bedtime Bible stories and the likes, that even though, however young I was, that I was a sinner, and even in my sin, though young as I was, if I was to continue on in that path of life, that I wouldn't know the Saviour, I wouldn't see God in eternity, and I'd be forever without Him. So it was one night after one of these meetings, I can't remember exactly which meeting it was, but I remember coming home and just at my bedside on my knees, just asking the Lord to come into my heart and to take away my sin. And I thank the Lord that over the last 18 years, He has stayed there. Even though sometimes I've departed from Him, He has never, like we've been singing, He has never forsaken me. I grew up in a Christian home, and I grew up in a slightly musical home as well. My mum plays the organ and the piano in church. Whenever I was growing up, I wanted to play the drum. My brother wanted to play the drum. My dad had sort of played the drums for a while. It might have been an answer to prayer whenever Dad left the band and I took up the pipes instead. Mum didn't have the knives and forks out on the kitchen table till the dinner was ready. There's still chips in the table back at home from over the last 18 years or so. Going up to primary school back in Northern Ireland, in sort of rural Northern Ireland, I suppose the majority of my class, and the majority of my primary school, you could say were Christian, or perhaps if not Christian, went to church and sort of respected the things of God. In that regard, there was no real rebellion in my environment growing up. And again, I just thank the Lord for that. I suppose the biggest problem was whoever stole my rubber in class. Going into high school again, it's compared to Scotland, I suppose, the area of the high school I went to in Dromore is, again, just slightly more religious than it would be going to high school in Edinburgh, I'm guessing. But even with that Christian influence and that Christian heritage that I had, and even though I was saved, I'm ashamed to say that perhaps in my high school years I started to backslide a little bit. Now, whenever I say that, I don't mean that I was smoking 40 a day and I haven't known the taste of drink. I've never injected myself with drugs or anything like that. I haven't chased women around. But my devotional life was perhaps at an absolute zero, if anything. Church on a Sunday was the closest that the Bible got to being open to my shame, I say that. I remember it vividly one day, just in one of our ICT classes, just getting caught up in the jokes that a young child of God should be getting caught up with, in jokes like that. And the fellow sitting beside me, he was as rowdy as get out. And I remember him just turning to me, and the words pierced my heart. He just said, "I thought you were a Christian." And I just remember the woman beating my eyes out, just thinking of what on earth had happened. Even thinking back to Sunday school and whenever the children were taking part, and in my very first year of Sunday school, I don't know how I got to end up doing a solo, but belting out across the church, "Jesus wants me for a sunbeam," and some 10 or 12 years later, just having that sort of judgment, especially from a non-Christian, piercing your soul. It was certainly a challenge, but I thank the Lord. Like I said, He never forsook me during those times. He never disowned me, and He willingly and graciously took me as I was and brought me back to Himself once again. Going through GCSEs and then on to A-levels, and then sort of the pressures from teachers and parents and everybody else about what you want to do, I sort of started pursuing the idea of journalism. I thought that was something I wanted to do, but it was very clear that the Lord started closing those doors, and then panic mode was starting to set in a little bit, sort of maybe more on my mum's side than me. I was sort of laid back about the whole thing, but I remember just asking the Lord just to very clearly lead and guide, and whatever it was He had me to do. And I remember our minister one day was preaching from Zechariah chapter 4. He had done the reading, and one of our elders was doing the announcements. And I remember just something very strongly in my mind, just saying, "Read Zechariah chapter 3, read the chapter before it." And I couldn't shake this feeling off. So I turned to Zechariah chapter 3, and it was talking about Joshua the high priest, and well, that got my attention, just with my name and all. So I started reading down through the chapter, and came to the verse 6 and 7. It says, "The angel of the Lord solemnly assured Joshua, Thus says the Lord of hosts, If you will walk in my ways and keep my charge, then you shall rule my house and have charge of my courts, and I will give you the right of access among those who are standing here." And I suppose that was perhaps one of the first indications of the Lord sort of calling me into some form of ministry for Him. I didn't know exactly what it was to be. And then there was sort of an Easter convention for the denomination back at home. And again, when whatever the minister was speaking on that night about the Lord calling Barnabas and Saul for the work that He had called them to, and just that feeling once again just being pressured onto my heart and onto my soul. So I sort of took some contentment in that in whatever the next couple of years was going to hold, perhaps that's where the Lord was going to have me eventually. Whenever it was coming down to university decisions and courses, I decided to sort of following this leading and guidance, studying theology at Queen's in Belfast, or studying politics at Jordanstown, just up the road from Belfast. And you think with all these verses and this leading and guiding, you could get into theology at Queen's, but for whatever reason the Lord had closed that door, and I ended up going to Jordanstown to study politics. It was over that summer, it was summer 2015, and I remember just getting through my daily readings and different things, just getting words of encouragement about God being there in dark times. We were on holiday in Bulgaria, me and my family, and on the Sunday I was watching a webcast from a church back at home, and the minister there was talking about Elijah in the valley of depression and how God was with him through it all. And I was wondering to myself, I've got good grades in A-levels, I'm going to university, I have a good circle of friends around me, I'm happy enough and content in my walk with the Lord. What on earth all this for? All these words of encouragement and comfort for perhaps things to come. Going into university, as much as I didn't like my course, that wasn't the reason for it. But, in fact, I'm skipping forward a little bit here. There was a Christian conference for new students going into university a few weeks before university started. And it was sort of just out of the lake, and you had your free time, and I just walked around the lake. And I remember just being oversensed with the presence of God, and just for these words of encouragement and comfort just ringing in my mind, and particularly Psalm 23 verse 4, "Yea, though I walk through the valley, I will fear no evil." And I remember I could almost shout it across the forest park, but I didn't want the guards coming and taking me away, thinking I was a loony, shouting out Psalm 23 across the lake. But even though I was shouting that with joy, a few weeks after that I was sitting across from a GP being diagnosed with anxiety and depression. Change of mind. And over the next, I suppose, 3 or 4 months while I was up in Jordanstown, it was a very dark I suppose the only way to describe it is a very dark place in the mind, verging on suicidal thoughts at times. I'm sorry, some of my own family didn't even know about this, but it's just a very difficult time, a very dark time in the mind. And I remember just asking the Lord with these words of encouragement, and it was then I was realising that this was for them. How the Lord saw the path ahead, how He saw the plan, and how I was thankfully shielded from it. Because if I was in that summer and the Lord had said to me, Joshua, you're going to go through this X, Y, and Z, this is exactly how you're going to be feeling, I would have went nowhere near the place. But I thank the Lord that He did bring me to that place so I could know Him in a much more deeper way. And it was through that time, coming up to Christmas time, I was just praying to the Lord to sort of deliver me from it. And just as I was praying over those few months, I just got a sense of the Lord just saying, hold on, and wait. Hold on and wait. And it was between that, the Lord telling me to hold on and wait, and these words of encouragement that sort of got me through that time. Until there was one particular morning in December, I remember I was going to fly over to Scotland to see my friend. He was studying in Scotland. And I was just flat out of the bed. I said, Lord, I can't take it anymore, just deliver it from me. One of the Sunday schools I went to, I got a prize, got a wee rubber, and I had a Bible verse on the rubber, Psalm 37 verse 4, delight thyself in the Lord, and He will give thee the desires of thy heart. And it was sitting on my eye level for most of my high school years, and so I knew the verse off by heart. That particular morning, I couldn't remember it fully well, and I just remember saying, Lord, it says somewhere in your word that if I take delight in you, you will answer my prayer. Just paraphrasing the verse effectively, and I just laid that before the Lord. And as soon as I had said amen to that verse, I had a ding on my phone. It was an email, sort of a verse for the day, sort of thing that comes through on an email. And the verse for that morning was Psalm 37 verse 4, delight thyself in the Lord, and He shall give thee the desire of thy heart. And as soon as I read that verse, and as I was reading it, it was just felt such a pressure lifting off my shoulder. And it was only of the Lord that could have been in that particular moment. Over the last few years, perhaps there's some people here with mental health, and perhaps you've been in situations like this. For me, it seems that there hasn't been a complete healing from that. There's sort of, trying to describe it, it's like if you drop a stone in the ocean and the ripple effect coming around, your times of calm and then you've rough times ahead. And after that, I thank the Lord that in the years that have followed, I haven't had times as dark as I had while I was at university, but there are still those times where the Lord takes me through those trials and through those difficult moments just to bring me closer to Himself. And I thank the Lord for that. Like we've been singing, He hasn't forsaken me. He'll never leave me nor forsake me. And whenever those times do come, I still have that promise. Delight thyself in the Lord, and He will give thee the desire of thy heart. And because of the past experience of Him being with me through it all. That was after Christmas time, and coming up to Christmas time. I had my first semester done in politics, the first 3 months done. I wasn't enjoying the course, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be, and I remember speaking to my mum and my family, just sort of thinking of pulling the plug on being in politics at Georgetown. And well, as parents can be, they were a little bit hesitant on the idea with no backup plan or anything, but we just laid it before the Lord. And I'd said to my family on Saturday night, like, I'm going in on Monday and telling them I'm not coming back. The following day we were at church, there was a visiting minister. He had no idea who I was, I had no idea who he was. He didn't know my circumstances at all. And he spoke on Daniel and young men being called from wherever they were to go and serve the king. He was talking, of course, about King Nebuchadnezzar, but he applied it to serving the king, and King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. And well, I looked over at my mum, who was sitting at the organ, and she just sort of looked over at me and gave me a nod, and well, that was sort of her acceptance of the whole matter. And just from then, just the continual leading and guiding of the Lord to different places, and eventually to Edinburgh Bible College. After I left university, I was sort of helping out with the youth ministry, going around schools, doing Sunday schools and Bible clubs, after school clubs, different things like that. With a man called Tinsley, he does a great work across Northern Ireland. He's absolutely flat out during the week. He has about 4 or 5 schools during the day, and then if he has time, he'll have a nighttime club as well in the area that he's in. I had the privilege of going over to Poland for 10 days with him, doing a youth camp over there, with 10 young children getting saved, and the cook that was there at the camp as well getting saved, so an extra answer to prayer there. And like I said, just the continual leading and guiding of the Lord to get me here to Edinburgh Bible College, and as you look back through it all, you wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Whenever you see the Lord leading and guiding you. I mean, if I had followed that line of journalism, I honestly couldn't picture it in my mind at all. I honestly could not imagine what my life would be. But just knowing the leading and guiding, being in the centre of the will of God, it is the greatest blessing that any child of God could ever know. And just finishing off with the verse out of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, faithful is he that calleth you, who also will do it. He certainly has for me, and I trust in whatever realm he has you, he'll do the same for you. Amen.
Joshua.